Dun 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 dun.
Everyone, Werewolf Radar, this week of weird, welcome. We hope you enjoy the new theme song by Nate and Harlan, our favorite house band.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
I'm Roger, of course, and this week we're talking about the Chinese military overwhelmed by surge in UFO reports.
Which seems crazy. You think it'd be hard to overwhelm the Chinese military. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of people that they deal with on a constant basis, but if all those people report UFO sightings as well,
I'm just saying
statistically, it's going to be very overwhelming. It is for our government.
That's true.
I'm just impressed that they all reported it because, like, when you see something, like when I see something, when I see like
a fireball in the sky that looks like a chariot.
I just assume someone else would call it in. You know what I mean? Like,
if you're a new listener, you should know that while we upload a full-length episode, weird news review, and a bite-sized grave nugget episode every single week, we have only ever had one sponsor, and Monstroco doesn't use any mortal currency. So if you can, support us directly on Patreon. We run entirely on community support from paranormal fans with a sense of humor like you. And on Patreon, you can get bonus content, virtual seats to live recording every week, plus exclusive merch and other spooky goodies. And
merch
all December
that just went out to people that are already subscribed.
Indeed. And all December long, we're offering an exclusive Jiggle for Bigfoot sticker for our ambassador tier and higher, along with all the other rewards we provide our Dark Council. Of course, if you can't scare up the funds, go ahead and leave us a like or an eerie glowing review on whatever platform you found us on. It really helps us out. 5 stars only. We live on 5 stars. And also be sure to follow us on all the social media links. Those links are down at the bottom of all episode descriptions. Now, are we ready to continue with Chinese military being overwhelmed by the surge of UFO reports?
Well, I think the sooner the better. It sounds like this might be a catastrophe waiting to happen.
Dun 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 dun.
According to the South China Media Post, and this can be read at werewolfradar.com, the Chinese military has been tracking UFOs and for the past few years recorded a huge uptick in sightings. The People's Liberation Army, the People's Liberation Army analysts have been overwhelmed by a number of reported sightings in recent years. The sources are coming from military and civilian sources, causing a backlog in reporting or in report classification, prompting the POA UFO task force to rely on AI to help classify cases. Many of the reports are categorized as natural phenomenon backed by data from radar and other sensors. A radar scientist quoted by the paper said the UFOs in China's airspace are more likely caused by humans than aliens, though.
I mean, that's what they would say, right? That's like,
yeah,
that's like the easiest like brush off of it ever.
I mean,
if China is
your fault, humans, that you saw the UFO in the sky, like
it definitely is.
Of all the people in the world, China's government is probably one of the most likely to have a prepared humanistic deflection for all the sightings.
They also have right now the most advanced aerospace division of their military, I think, ranked amongst all nations. Like, they recently showed ability to launch hypersonic missiles while on hypersonic flight. Either way, it blew people's minds.
Crazy thing. Don't they, like Australia,
so I think
also have that radar that peers over the horizon forever?
You mean the eye? Yes, they have the eye. It's talked about greatly.
Yeah, they are also on Sauron's side.
Yeah. But I think that's what he's saying, is that what you were seeing, Chinese civilians, is that this is our test of these hypersonic aerospace designs.
Ah, gotcha. It's a little bit of a weather balloon fiasco.
Yes. Well, one that carries a nuke versus one
Yeah.
that carries stuff to see how
A
wind blows.
A highly aggressive weather balloon fiasco.
The POA, for knowledge, uses a 3-tiered system to record UFO sightings, relying on data and reports from military radio stations, military pilots, police stations, weather stations, and the Chinese Academy of Science observatories, gathering as much data as possible about bizarre aerial phenomenon.
Do you think those radio stations have a Robin Williams impersonator yelling "Good morning, Xi Jinping" every day?
I do, and I think that the UFO report is his most beloved segment. Data is then processed by analysts for the POA for preliminary study. The sighting is then submitted to the national database where the POA assigns a threat index to each sighting. The POA assesses the threat index based on objective behavior, physical features, and anything else that may be of value.
Right, like carrying one of those hyper-nuclear weapons.
Which for sure is what the US government has said that they are really worried that UFO sightings is that it is a foreign power with, capabilities that China has shown to have.
Yeah, I mean,
which I guess we owe the government an apology when we were making fun of them in June. And then China's all like, by the way, we got alien technology.
Hi, there's a piece of me that's like, I don't care what the truth is. I'm going to believe that it's aliens over another country bombing us. Because, like, worst case scenario, we get bombed and I die and I was wrong, but I'm dead. And best case scenario, aliens show up and I'm like,
yeah. Now, interesting thing about or I guess it's just an interesting thing that happened in China. It has nothing to do with this. Is that China has an official confirmed UFO sighting. The Chinese government confirmed a UFO sighting.
Don't we though too? Didn't they sneak that out recently?
Yeah. I mean,
not in the same way, in that they like went ahead and like did real reporting and didn't. I can go on and link the source, of course. It was a large piece of poorly translated.
It's not just some guy trying to get Harry Reid to say there are aliens in real life on a terrible made-for-TV documentary.
It is a tale of a short. I mean, it's the Chinese version of that, which is a lot more official than our Harry Reid. He gets shit done for his constituents. Information from any country is sometimes hard to come by, especially in matters of countries considering national security. The Chinese government has only confirmed one UFO sighting in their history. China's only confirmed UFO sighting happened in 1998. 2 military jets intercepted a low-flying object that entered the airspace I can't speak anymore. Entered the airspace on an airbase in Kangzhou, Hebei province. The UFO was a short-legged mushroom with lights beaming down from the body. The UFO accelerated at high speeds, reaching a distance of 2,000 meters from the planes before vanishing from the radar in a ghost-like fashion, according to the pilots.
I mean, that sounds, like the pretty close to the classic flying saucer style.
Yeah.
Now, while we have recently accepted, came out and the government's reported on it, the Chinese government that week published it in an official state newspaper declaring that this was a UFO. We weren't sure what this was. It happened, and all the reports of this are real.
Well, maybe China only has the one unidentified flying object because they've identified all of them before now or before then.
They are.
Like maybe China really is playing with alien tech.
Your logic is sound. I have nothing against that. I just I'm checkmate,
NASA, Bill Nelson, chief administrator of NASA, said the agency is looking into evidence released by the Pentagon, which we've talked about in large extent, but here's some new quotes. Bill Nelson of NASA says, I've talked to those Navy pilots, and they are sure that they saw something real. And of course, we've seen the video from their jets. What is it? We don't know. So now I'm here at NASA. I've turned to our scientists and I've said, would you, looking at it from a scientific standpoint, see if you can determine so that we can have a better idea?
But they can't. I feel like they've been trying. I think if scientists had the answers, we would know them.
But I think this article for China and for us is a signal to where it's not being talked about as that crackpot theory of what's happening. More so it's like, yes, we don't know what this is, and I think it is time that we research what these weird lights and explosions and objects that seem to move in weird acceleration patterns are in our sky.
Yeah, so you're saying China is willing to be vulnerable. They're willing to say,
China's willing to be vulnerable. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know. Where we as the U.S. are still clinging on to that rugged individualism, that masculinity that's holding us back from finding aliens, because we're saying there's nothing to see here when we don't know something, where China is willing to admit that they just don't know.
I think even in our disclosure, we are going like, there's nothing to see here. We don't know what these are, so don't look at them.
Exactly. It's probably something stupid
happened here.
You're a stupid kid. Yeah.
That's the feeling I get from recent papers and quotes and interviews of politicians dealing with this from the Pentagon that we've reported on. But that so far is the update to, I guess, the world phenomenon now of governments across the globe and their projects and their programs to research UFOs.
Seems like China's pretty chill about it.
China seems chill. They're like, yeah, something happened in 1998. Some other stuff happened too, but this is our really official one that we went to bat for, and we don't know. Happened that week. It's not like we waited on reporting on it.
Yeah. I mean, the first step to connecting with extraterrestrial life is admitting that you're wrong.
I think so. And then through admitting you're wrong, we can contact the Vulcans and have first contact.
Yeah, first
unless it was the Romulans. I don't remember that movie.
It was the Vulcans.
It should have been the Romulans.
I mean, they just would have killed us all.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's this week of Weird, everyone. Thank you for joining us, Harlan, and the updated journey on this government UFO reporting system. The Chinese military overwhelmed by surge in UFO reports.
I would have thought that there were a lot more on the books, though. So that if they've only had one, it's in 98. Surge could mean like there were 3 sightings in the last 10 years.
Man, I doubted that source. I went South China Morning Post. I mean, there has to be more. And there is literally like no evidence of UFOs coming out of China, except for like 3 unofficial ones and this official one.
Yeah, they've got to be seeing them.
But supposedly they're being overwhelmed.
Everywhere else.
They're being overwhelmed by it, and China just hasn't properly reported by it. But they are being overwhelmed, as the article says, by UFO reports.
All right, well.
So get ready, people. There's going to be some reports written in a foreign language that is tough to translate into English that I'm sure will be fun to read on this show.
And accurate. So
yeah, very accurate though. Don't worry about the accuracy. Anyway, I've been Roger with Nate and our special guest Harlan Kelly. Harlan, tell them where the people can find you on this Friday episode of Werewolf Radar.
Better Than Heroes. You can search it on any major platform and find us. We're the only Better Than Heroes, BTH, D&D. Come watch us do some spell jammer in space that makes sense all of the time.
We've watched it. It is an awesome show. Jordan Dahl, you know the host. He's gone. What's wrong with him this time? Okay. Was it a vampire attack or?
I think he was abducted by one of those Chinese UFOs.
It happens. Anyway, you can see Jordan there. I think they're taking the month of December off.
Yep, but you can find us. You can find all our episodes on YouTube. So if you are hungry for it right now, that's a good place to start.
Yes, and I need to post our steak night episodes on our YouTube so people can watch the backlog as well. Listen, things have been busy for everyone.
Yeah, we're all very depressed. So,
but if you want to make us less depressed, think about, giving us a 5-star review on whatever podcast streaming service allows for reviews. Share us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you really like what we do and want to support us a little bit financially, think about making a pledge on our Patreon. As we've discussed, you get awesome paranormal rewards for doing so, plus a December bonus if you sign up for the ambassador tiers or ambassador tier and higher this month. And who knows what else. We do monthly fiction, art, blah, blah, blah. You know about it. Check us out on patreon.com/werewolf radar and new stuff. Yes.
It will make me less depressed if you sign up
Harlan
for their Patreon.
Less depressed.
Yeah.
It makes us average depressed because we see all the money go to hosting fees and website fees. And
not me. I don't see any of that, so I'm just stoked. Yeah. Just
but you'll make Harlan stoked.
Yeah.
And that's what really matters this December. All right, everyone. Anyway, on the count of 3, the super, ultra, super secret sign-off line that we haven't even told Harlan yet. He just has to feel it out. 1, 2, 3. Suspect.
Hey,
Space person.
Never.